What is up, everybody? We're back here at King Film Sports for the penultimate play-in update for the NBA regular season. Here we just have 3 days left, only really 2 because you have all 30 teams in action today on Friday, no games tomorrow on Saturday, and then 15 games, all 30 teams playing once again on Sunday in 2 different windows, 1 o'clock and 3:30 Eastern, to determine the final play-in seeding heading into those play-in games and then the playoffs later on. So we'll break down all of the standings, all the tiebreaker scenarios, each team's path, how they can get to the highest possible seed, their schedule going forward, and then I'll be giving my West play-in predictions as I've been doing, and it is heating up here with 2 games left. So starting off here in the Eastern Conference, you've got the Celtics obviously dominating. They did lose their last 2 games. Both were nationally televised against the Bucks and the Knicks, but just seems like they're not really trying going forward here. I mean, they're really just resting up all of their energy and their guys for the playoffs, so it seems. So Boston in great position there at the number 1 seed, but one thing to take note of is that the Sixers and the Heat essentially locked into that 7 or 8 matchup, as neither of those teams has the tiebreaker over the Pacers. So it looks like they're going to have to play at that 8 seed, either one of those teams, and that could be dangerous. You obviously know the struggles that they've had in the past with the Heat, and you don't want the Sixers with healthy Embiid in the first round either. So that will be an interesting storyline to monitor there. Then you have the Bucks, 49-31, and it looks like they will retain this number 2 seed as they have the tiebreaker over the Knicks, but Giannis goes down with that calf strain, did avoid the deadly Achilles tear, but that will be something to take note of heading into the playoffs. Now, their potential playoff matchup won't start till Saturday or Sunday of next week, so he will have some time to rest, and Giannis in the past has been pretty good with these injuries. Remember when they went on that title run, and against the Hawks, he had what seemed to be a significant knee injury, but then he was back a couple days later. So you never know really, but that's not great for the Bucks. But looks like they will be holding on to this 2 seed, and for what it's worth, that might not be all that it's cracked up to be, because the Sixers and the Heat, winner of that play-in game, will be there to match them in that first round. So that'll be interesting. Then at the 3 seed, you've got the New York Knicks. They have this tiebreaker over the Cavs. They don't have it against the Bucks, so they're pretty much locked into this 3 seeds. So it would seem here, playing decent basketball under Thibodeau. I mean, the storyline is just, can this team get it done? You've obviously got Julius Randle out for the season, but be interesting to see who they play in this first round matchup. Right now, it would be the Pacers, but you could also see it being the Cavs or the Magic. So we'll see there. Then at the 4-5 matchup right now, we've got the Cavs and the Magic. Either of these teams probably want to get to that number 3 spot, because then you get to avoid the Celtics in that second round matchup, and hopefully you want that home court there. You've got the Magic and then the Pacers locked in at 46 wins apiece there. And then, as I mentioned, the play-in, the Sixers, 45-35, one of the hottest teams in the league, 6-game winning streak here. They've got Embiid back, Tyrese Maxey, most improved player, so watch out for this Sixers team. And as of now, they have this home court in the 7-8 matchup. Remember, the Heat have the tiebreaker there, so if they do end up tied in the standings, the Heat will host that one. But yeah, Miami, as it seems, last year, they are just sleepwalking through this regular season. We'll see what happens in the playoffs with the Heat culture and everything like that, but just not playing great basketball right now, but we'll see when we get to the play-in and the playoffs there. And then you've got the Bulls and the Hawks here. This 9-10 matchup has been locked in for a while now, and it looks like Chicago will be able to host that one. And Trae Young might be back for Atlanta. I don't know if that helps or hurts their chances. They've been playing actually decent basketball when he's been out, so we'll see there if the Hawks can go on one last run, because they probably have to retool the roster after this season. But now let's go to the Western Conference, which is far more intriguing at this point in time, and massive development on Wednesday night as the Denver Nuggets defeated the Minnesota Timberwolves, take that 1-game lead, and that one is huge because the Nuggets have an easy schedule. I believe they play the Spurs and the Grizzlies to end it out, so assuming they can win both of those, although it was kind of an up-and-down regular season for them, they should end up with 58 wins and the number 1 seed there. Just hope that they're all healthy, because Jamal Murray obviously was dealing with some injuries and had a couple other guys banged up, but does look like this Denver team will end up at the number 1 spot there. Then you have Minnesota, tough fall to the number 2 seed here. They hope that they can hold on to this number 2 seed. If not get the 1, they do have the tiebreaker over the Thunder and the Nuggets, so if the Nuggets can trip up, then maybe they could take that, but they do have a bit of a tough schedule coming up here. They have a Suns home game this Sunday, and the Suns obviously will need that in their play-in race, so that will be a very entertaining game coming up this Sunday. And then you've got the OKC Thunder getting healthy here after that tough road trip. They have really fallen out of the 1 seed race here, but maybe they can hop up to the number 2. Then you've got the LA Clippers, a couple interesting games on the back-to-back with the Suns. They obviously were up 35-4 in that first quarter in Phoenix, really embarrassed the Suns. And then the next night at home, they were resting more guys and still gave the Suns a fight. Looked like they were going to win that for 3.5 quarters, but the Suns ultimately pulled away late. So this Clippers team, it's just, can they stay healthy? But if they are able to, then that will look good for them. And this 4-5 matchup is essentially locked in right now. It's just who gets that home court, because home court will be massive there in a close series like that. You've got the Mavericks, as I mentioned, just playing great basketball, Doncic and Irving. You've also got Derek Lively coming into the fray, playing good, PJ Washington. So we'll see if Dallas can get to the number 4 seed to get this home court, but probably not there. But still good, because they were on the fringe of the play-in a couple weeks ago, and they are one of the hottest teams in the league over the last month. So good to see them dig themselves out of that. Then we have the Pelicans, who were in this 4-5 position, looked like they would be in that matchup, but then fell into this play-in fringe here, have been battling their way out of it. They did get a huge win in Phoenix on Sunday there, so that one's big. They do lose that tiebreaker to Phoenix, but they are up 1 game. And then last night, more importantly, they did beat the Kings in Sacramento. They swept that season series 5-0. That is very interesting, the way that happened. But this team, playing without Brandon Ingram, they will be on the road tonight in Golden State, tail end of a back-to-back, so tough there. And then they ended off with a home game in New Orleans against the Lakers, who are battling for their play-in lives. So those ones will be interesting. They obviously control their own destiny there. We'll see if they can hold on to number 6. Then you've got the Suns at the number 7. It's been up and down over the past couple of weeks, as I've mentioned here. But assuming that the Pelicans can lose one of their final 2 and the Suns win their last 2, they can hurdle up to the number 6 seed. And then we have the Kings in free fall here. Yes, they are still 10 games above 500, but now tied with the Warriors and Lakers. Does help that they do have the tiebreaker over both of them. But they do have the Suns tonight at home on the tail end of a back-to-back. That seems to be a must-win for both of these teams, so we'll see who comes out on top there tonight. Warriors, as I mentioned, have the Pelicans today, and then the Jazz on Sunday, and then the Lakers have at Grizzlies and at Pelicans to finish it out. But very tough loss against the Timberwolves at home on Sunday, and then the loss to the Warriors on Tuesday. And really, just without AD, they aren't the same team here, and tough because it looked like with their tiebreaker situation, they could end up getting the number 7 seed or potentially the number 6, but just hasn't gone their way. And here we have an interesting graphic on the Western Conference seeding chances here, and very interesting at the number 1 line, you have the Nuggets at 56%, and then you have the Thunder with a 31% chance. Minnesota falls down to a 13% chance, and this is just because the OKC Thunder schedule over the last 2 games is far more favorable than the T-Wolves, but obviously the Nuggets, if they can just take care of business, will be in that number 1 position. Then the T-Wolves are actually the favorite for the number 2 seed, as they have that tiebreaker over OKC there, and then Nuggets and Thunder, and then you see that the Thunder 47% chance to get that number 3 seed. And then the 4 and 5 slots, you have the Clippers and Mavs essentially locked in. And then the 6 seed, the all-important number 6 seed, because you get to avoid the play-in there, the Pelicans have the 73% chance, Suns 26% chance, and this essentially conveys that the Pelicans can hold on to their 1-game lead, their cushion there, then they should be good, as I mentioned before. And then at this number 7 spot, you have the Suns. They are the favorite to be there at 42%. And then you have the Kings, although they have fallen. If they can win their couple final games here, then they could get up there, but probably no longer can get up to that number 6 seed. And then the Pelicans can fall to that number 7 seed if they don't take care of business. And then the 8 line, you have the Kings at the 27% chance, and then look, the Warriors just 1 percentile behind them at 26%, and then the Lakers fall to 21%. So now let's look at these schedules, and I'll give my predictions for the games here. So tonight, Eastern Conference games, mostly to start it here. Orlando at Philadelphia, that one will be massive for the play-in ramifications and seeding ramifications for Orlando. I think Philadelphia probably wins that one at home here. Then you have the Pacers at the Cavs. That one will be interesting. That's really just a toss-up game there. I mean, you've got to favor Cleveland to win at home, though, but should be entertaining. Then get down the line. Lakers must-win game at Memphis. I think they do win that. I think Minnesota will beat Atlanta at home there. Then a big game between Milwaukee and OKC. I do probably think the Thunder win that one, especially Milwaukee without Giannis there. And then Denver at San Antonio. I mean, Spurs have been frisky with Wemby here late in the season, but I do see Denver winning that one. Dallas wins against Detroit. And then big one here, Warriors and New Orleans. Give me the Warriors to win that one at home. They did beat the Trailblazers last night without Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. I think with them coming back tonight, they do beat New Orleans, but it will be a brawl there in Golden State. And then we get to the Clippers and the Jazz. I think the Clippers win that one there. And then perhaps the most meaningful game, the Phoenix Suns at Sacramento Kings. And give me the Suns to win this one, even though it's in Sacramento. I do think that the Suns get it done here. This is for the tiebreaker in the season series. These two teams are tied 2-2, but I just think that the Suns have more talent at this point. So that brings us into Sunday here, where we have these simultaneous start times, either 1 p.m. or 3:30 p.m. Eastern here. So let's get into the good matchups here. Not many In the Eastern Conference, you have Milwaukee at Orlando. But really, it's the Western Conference that you're looking at here, and you have Phoenix at Minnesota. That one should be a great matchup. I do think that Minnesota will be able to defend their home court and win that one there. I do think that the Lakers will beat New Orleans, and so that will give the Suns the 7th seed there. I just think that the Lakers getting AD back, hopefully for this one, will be able to win that one against the Pelicans. Then you have Dallas at OKC. That one will be big for OKC's chances at getting the 2 or the 1 seed. And then finally, you've got the Jazz at Golden State. I do think that the Warriors win that one there. So now I'll give my West play-in standings predictions here heading into the play-in. And as I mentioned, I've got the Suns notching the Pelicans here, as I have the Pelicans losing their final 2 games. I did have the Suns losing on Sunday to Minnesota, but this is good enough to get them to that number 6 spot. Pelicans, I just see them falling short here. We'll see when Brandon Ingram comes back, but I just do not think that they have the depth to get this one done. Then at the 8 line, a bit of a surprise. I have the Warriors winning their final 2 games here. Really, if they can get it done tonight against New Orleans, then that Jazz win should just be a layup there at home. So I do have them getting into that critical 7-8 matchup there. And then at the 9 line, I have the Lakers getting this one. I have them winning their final 2 at the Grizzlies and at the Pelicans, as I mentioned. And then the Kings, I have them losing tonight against Phoenix. That one should be a great game. And then they win on Sunday against the Trailblazers, but that one ultimately won't matter as they fall all the way down to the 10 line. So tough way to end the season for them there under my predictions. But let me know what you guys think of these predictions. What is your guys' analysis of the final 2 games in the NBA regular season? Let me know in the comments. As always, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.